Previously on Canvases and Queens.
I've not had like a crazy detailed nightmare in probably a couple years, honestly.
You mentioned that you had like very vivid nightmares. Is this something that you like to talk about, or is this something that you like to not bring up?
Yeah, I'm happy to share any
Yeah,
traumatizing
okay, yeah.
nightmare.
Okay, I'm gonna play therapist today. No, I'm just joking. But you did mention that as a young Columbus, you had nightmares that somehow influenced your art.
There's one that came to mind immediately, and it was so I remember like I was floating through some trees, and the trees were like made of steel. So like the branches and the trunks of the trees like were made of like chrome, but it was like nighttime, so like they weren't super reflective, but I could still tell that they were still chrome. And I floated down to like this village, and it's strange because some dreams you're kind of like a third party, like you're kind of floating around and kind of experiencing things. So at first in the dream, I felt like I was just a spirit, like experiencing like watching everything. But then like I landed on my feet in this chrome forest, and there was like this strange village with like a bunch of like metal huts and homes and everything. And my vision kind of like zoomed in front of me, and I was able to see these two creatures like having a conversation, and they were bald and had very long skinny bodies, like they were emaciated, and they had like their bones were protruding. And like as they realized that I was listening to them, they both cocked their heads to the side, and their eyes were glowing, and they looked at me. And then my vision kind of went back into my own body, like I kind of went back to where I was at in the dream, and then I could hear them running after me. So it was almost like I was astral projecting and like listening to like their world, and they spotted me, and so they immediately started to like run on all fours like an animal to come and get me. And then I woke up right before they got me.
And this is a recurring dream that you have?
That one only happened once, and that was like 15 years ago. And it stuck with me ever since because it was so detailed. I was like, I'm going to remember that one because it's very scary. So this other one, it's always in a forest. I don't know why it's in a forest. I love nature. I don't know why my body likes to take me to hellscape.
Wait, do you live near to a forest?
Not right now. No, I live in a city, so I don't know why I would have dreams of that.
Do you grow up close to a forest?
Kind of, yeah. Like, I what's really funny is that I've had recurring nightmares and dreams of my grandparents' house because we always spent a lot of time there as kids, like a lot of good memories. So it's almost like that's always a focal point in my dreams or nightmares is my grandparents' house, and it's always changing. Like there's always a labyrinth in the basement, or the roof is on fire for some reason. Like it's always surrounding their house. So very weird.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you were gonna tell me about this other dream that you have in the forest as well.
Oh yeah. So this one, it was during the daytime, and there was a lot of fog, like so dense you almost couldn't see 20 feet in front of you, and all the trees were dead. And I remember seeing like, and this one I was a third party. I was just like floating around watching everything, and there were three different men who were hunters from different points in time. So there was a barbarian, there was a Native American with like bows and arrows, and then there was some kind of modern looking guy with like a gun. And they were all lost in this forest, and they couldn't figure out why they were there, like almost like they had amnesia. And they were trying to stick together because they felt like, well, we have to survive, so let's just hang out together. And I remember being in the actual trees, like watching them, and then I heard the trees beside me crack, like something was near me. And I saw these dark shadows of like these women running through the forest, and they were stalking the men who were on the path, like on this big foggy trail. And I like once I got closer to the men to kind of find out like what was happening. These dark shadowy women emerged from the forest and started to abduct the men, and the women were actually vampires, but like they were kind of like primordial vampires, and they like just each one like grabbed a guy and then just ran away in the forest. And I woke up. So it was, and I'm
Wow.
thankful that I wasn't one of them. I'm thankful I was just watching and I wasn't participating, but it was very scary. It was very scary.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait, can you describe one of the vampires?
Yeah, so they had like almost like dirty arms and legs, like they had been digging around like in soot, and they had ash colored bodies, so they were like gray, and they had these kind of like brown tattered like strips of what should be clothing on their body, and they had long like raggedy black hair. And with the faces, I remember like they had like rows of sharp teeth, and their eyes were like sunken in, so there was like no pupil. It was just a black hole. And yeah, very scary.
Have you ever illustrated them
Yeah,
before?
I actually haven't. Like, there's a lot of like creatures that like I've dreamt about, and some of them I forgot. Like I've kept like a couple of dream journals, but they're so scattered I can't even like remember what they look like. So yeah, some of the ones that stand out, I've always wanted to draw them, but I've never just given myself the time to just revisit that.
Yeah, I think okay, maybe I should dabble in the horror genre myself since I'm now
Hmm.
horror curious myself.
Not horror curious.
Okay, I know this is we're all over the place, but so my bathroom, I have the door, the entrance to the bathroom is behind me, and then the mirror is
Hmm.
there, and the sink is right in front of me. Sometime when my husband walks in from the back, it scares me every time. Like I will know he's in the room, and as soon as he walks in, I just have a little scare. I don't know why. There's something about mirrors that frightens me.
Have you ever scared him? Have you ever scared him by screaming?
Um, I went into okay, this is full therapy, but
Hmm.
I went into like a panic attack one time. He was in the other room having some work meeting, and I was in the bathroom just getting ready to go to bed. So when he walked in, my brain just said that this is not him because he is in the other room. Then I started panicking. I'm like, oh my god, you look like him, but you're not him. And then I just like had this like weird panic moment. I just just
Holy
started crying
shit.
and I just shivered. Yeah, it's so weird because it's like I keep telling him like I cannot figure out if you're the real person for a second. So because when I saw the reflection, I just
Hmm.
started freaking out. Yeah, I know. It's weird. I Then he's like, it's me, it's me. Then I'm like, yeah, I know, but for a second my mind just told me that you're in the other room, so you shouldn't be here. And then I just went
Hmm.
into this weird panic mode. Weird, yeah, I know, we're all over the place.
I'm not sure if you've heard the term creepypasta, but there's actually a creepypasta specifically for that. It was about, I think it was like a children's blanket or something, and somebody's mom, and it wasn't actually the mom, it was a creature checking on them. And it's creepy. It sounds like what you're describing. Yep.
Oh, I just had the chills. Okay, yeah.